When you think about meal kit companies, what do you see? Probably long, complicated recipes and subscriptions you can't escape. But with the new Blue Apron, we're doing meal delivery differently. No subscription needed. Faster, easier meals. And the same dedication to quality we've always had. Shop 100+ meals at blueapron.com. Get 50% off your first 2 orders with code APRON50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Bettering your business takes working with the best. With the James Hardie Alliance, you gain access to leads, training, networking, and support from the #1 brand of siding in North America. Achieve new levels of success by joining the James Hardie Alliance today.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, the one and only HG Rugby, no John, and back 2 weeks in a row, Pringle. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Top of the world, Matt.
Still drunk.
Not as good as Hughes. Maybe a little bit more drunk than Pringle. That's all right.
My voice has just come back in the last 3 or 4 hours. My singing yesterday, which the Northampton fans didn't really appreciate in front of me, but I was screaming my heart out by the end.
They were shushing us. I don't know if that came across on the TV.
They were shushing us because they were taking a conversion and we were singing Scarlets Till I Die, and they didn't like that. But we're quiet for all the other ones. By that point, we were like, game's over anyway, so we may as well sing now.
Let me just say quickly, it came across on TV. The shushing, it was very clear.
I was wondering how well the crowd came over because it was really loud. And we were all spread out. We all expected to be in the same area, but we were so spread out. And you could hear the singing just starting in different areas, and then it all just joined in. It was great. Really good atmosphere.
It's one of my favorite games I've ever been to, even though we lost. And we'll get onto the scoreline and stuff, but I really, really enjoyed it. Shout out to Cinch at Franklin's Gardens, or whatever the official name is. It's a great stadium. Fair play.
Fantastic.
Happy days. We'll have to plan another visit sometime soon.
Yeah.
So to kick us off, obviously, Hugh likes to buy rugby jerseys a lot for some unknown reason, and he's already posted about his first buy of the season, and he's actually wearing it. Probably, the home version was always my favorite kit for feel, and I know me and who had a discussion on a different podcast way back when, but he's now got the Rhino green away jersey. Talk us through it.
This is one of the jerseys, if you collect Scarlets jerseys, and I've bought probably 10 in the last 12 months. And this is one that I've been waiting for to come up. And it's Pringle's fault, because Pringle drops in the WhatsApp group, hey, someone on Vinted has just uploaded a stash of size medium Scarlets jerseys. So I was like a rat up a drain pipe. I was straight on there. And I was like, browsing. Green one, medium, bought. Literally seen it, just didn't even make an offer, just buy now.
And as I share it, I go, this looks really good. I'm tempted with this one. And they were like, don't worry, it's gone. I was like, great. Saving a bit of money is fine.
He's made a bit of an error there, to be fair to him. But
help me promote,
Thank you to Pringle for that one. And loves it. It's a lot softer. We were having a debate before we came on air what year it was. And New John and Big M have informed us that it's actually 2009-10, which is later than I was expecting. The only year that we had Rhino, and the only green away kit, as far as I'm aware. Unless you count that weird teal one that we had with Castor a couple of years ago.
I would say that was green, because I have that one, and it is green.
It's like blue. Irish mint. It's got some sort of Dulux color chart name, I would say.
We did have about a half-hour debate on a podcast about whether it was green or blue, because I think on the on Scarlet's website it says it's blue at the time.
Oh, did it?
Maybe. Who knows? Well, we'll circle back round to where we just were. Two of us, as in Pringle, Benji, on official tour duties, and who on official media duties, Posh, attended the game. So day out at the Saints, boys. Well, how did it go?
You go first, Pringle, because you were with all of the fans and stuff on the bus and in the hotel and stuff.
Yeah. So we left at like 9:30 on the Saturday. And Tinny's started opening straight as we left. So
You
it was a
shared a
long
photo
day.
of a nice lady walking down the aisle of the bus with a bottle of gin in her
Well,
hands at about 11:30.
I gotta say, the Scarlets fans, especially the ones that, they're always at the Tyler Bank. They put on quizzes, bingo, raffle, all the way up. Everyone's singing. Someone won a bottle of gin, started sharing it out. But they weren't just giving you a little bit, they were giving you like half a glass full. People were singing. It was great, honestly. It was Dan Vaughan that ran the trip. And they did in the evening, they had a conference room booked out in the Makua, is it? Makua. Um, and they had people singing, games on TV, and the place was packed, absolutely packed. It was so good to see so many fans travel up. We had 5 buses leaving the stadium that morning. And obviously people on social media going, "Oh, there's all the fans going up." No, we took over Northampton, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If anyone is tempted to go on one of these away trips, on the bus trip, great stuff. It's awesome. I am feeling very tired though. We didn't get back till 11:30 last night. And straight back to work today. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah. So for audio listeners, don't turn into YouTube for this section. You'll see a very, very well-worn Benji.
Yeah, I'm not built for the weekenders anymore, but I did enjoy it regardless.
And you met some listeners as well?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we had a few people mention it. Me and Harty met a few fans at the end of the podcast. That was nice. Yeah. Oh, but the zebra didn't make it home.
What, the gingerbread zebra?
Yeah. Well, it did make it home, but it was in bits, man. It wasn't good.
Is there
sad about the result?
Is there context for a gingerbread zebra?
Yeah.
Or is
All right, I'll
just...
show you because I got mine for show and tell.
I had longer to go than you, so
yeah. So they didn't have Invest Pringles this week.
They don't exist.
Yeah, because you dreamt them.
That was coming, but they did have zebra gingerbreads.
yeah.
I mean, they sell them in the play center by me. So I mean,
yeah, but that's the Invest at kindergarten. Like it's on brand.
Store in cool, dried conditions.
I think that is the exact same one
They had
as well.
more fluffy zebra, so Hattie's got a fluffy zebra. And they were giving out free. There was beer there, which I definitely didn't take off site because that would be breaking licensing rules. But there was beer there, and
you did mention the name. I didn't know what the hell you were on about. The beer.
The beer.
Yeah. Didn't you say, do you want this beer? I didn't know what it was.
It was Heineken.
No, you said something else.
No, I didn't.
Oh, maybe I was that drunk. I
So,
don't know.
yeah, so there's that. But they were also giving away biltong. So I got 3 packets of biltong, and I've already polished off one. What I will say is, it's nice. It doesn't have to dehydrate you.
No.
Yes, it's biltong. It's meant to. It's salty. It's lush.
All South Africans must die of kidney failure. Honestly.
You're just not used to it, man. It's a good snack. Fair play. Any biltong jerky, it's all good for you.
It is a good snack. It is a good snack. I've been enjoying it.
Did everyone see what the Northampton fans said about us?
No.
Positive all over Facebook and Twitter, saying that how good our fans were, how much they enjoyed their singing, how much I enjoyed. Like we went to the Thomas Beckett. Don't know if that rings any bells for anyone. There was a pub, and literally all Northampton fans were singing with us. Didn't know the words, obviously. They were loving it. They were loving the whole the Welsh anthems.
It's funny you should say that because Phil Dowson, the Northampton head coach, he said in his presser, the guy asked him just like, "Oh, what do you think playing about a Welsh team? Doom and gloom Welsh rugby," and he just went off on one talking about the fans, and he said, "I was a bit disappointed that our fans didn't join in with Bread of Heaven."
They did.
He said
there was a few of them that did by us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were singing Bread of Heaven. They were singing as well. I was like, "How do you know this song?"
Yeah. So they were saying it was great. Fraser Dingwall, their captain as well, said it was great. And I heard someone saying that the Northampton fans all loved it, and it was one of their, like you said, Benji, one of their favourite games of the season. It was a great atmosphere. It was completely sold out, packed out, and yeah, the fans were classy. You know, the vlog of the trip is going to be uploaded anytime soon, and there's a bit where I film literally where you are. I'm on the opposite side of the stadium, dead opposite, and you got Northampton fans. You got the tannoy going, but you can hear the loudest thing in the stadium is the Scarlets fans singing.
Mm-hmm.
Happy days. Great representation. It'd be interesting to see, you know, if you go to each of these English clubs and ask them over the last few years, what, like the fans now, the actual season ticket holders, what was your best game for atmosphere? How many of them will pick up a Welsh club each season?
It's funny you should say that, because Pringle, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Gloucester fans say that we were their best game as well?
Yeah. Well, they said that we were welcome back any time. I remember them saying something like that. Because that shed in Gloucester, I mean, I couldn't hear their fans. We were so loud. I mean, we had a roof as well, so that did help. But yeah, I mean, so far I've been to these 2 away games in the last few years in England, and the fans have all come there and enjoyed it. So yeah, more of that, please.
It's a rare opportunity to go now, which is why I think it's so special and so many people go. So, you know, it's more of a spectacle when, you know, when it's not every single year, when it's not even every other year.
And let's be honest, I think for a lot of people, like me, for example, it's easier to get to Northampton and Gloucester than it is to get to Llanelli. Like, as I was chatting to Sam Costello's uncle, shout out Sam Costello's dad, uncle, and Archie Hughes' mum and dad, who I all met and who all listen. Hope you're having a great week. He was saying he lives in East Anglia. So for him, it's so much easier to get to the likes of Northampton than it is to get to Llanelli, which is literally 6 hours away or whatever.
Yeah, well, it depends on where in East Anglia. I know it's a good 311 miles or so from Llanelli to Lowestoft. I know that much from memories of many years driving that. It's a hell of a trek. But no, it just goes to the point. I think we've all known that logically, you know, playing a British-based games is more logical for fans. I mean, our geographic spread, you know, is quite big. You know, like there's dozens upon dozens of hundreds everywhere.
I'm not being funny. On this pod, we got England, Scotland, Germany, and Wales, to be fair.
Well, Bont, he's not Carmarthen.
Oh, it's like
he's out of region.
No comment.
No comment.
No.
Anyway, it was a great day out for everyone. An actual, despite what was a 15-point loss in the end, it's a really good game.
No, the scoreline didn't reflect how well we played that game.
No, it was very frustrating of a game, especially if you know, when you go back and you nitpick every single thing that goes on. I mean, we can go through a few of their tries and, you know, be like, you know, 2 of the lineouts were not straight and contested. You know, obviously, what was it? Joe Hawkins and Eddie James had a player held up before the first try. It was called a tackle. And then there was a try directly after Kemsley's yellow card where it was the Saints 3 that caused that collapse. So, you know, you could obviously the scrum one's a bit more niche, but the other 3, you're talking, well, those are simple decisions. And I'm not saying the result would have changed, but it would have made a difference, and so would Jake Ball have been on the pitch.
Yeah, you know, massive.
Hopefully, he's right. He's obviously not going to be playing this coming week because he's failed the HIA. You know, even if he hasn't gone through the protocols,
he was completely out.
Yeah,
he was flat on his face from what I could see.
For like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah. What was everyone's thoughts on that? You know, nothing given at all. Because like,
what happened? Because obviously I couldn't see that they had screens on the. Did you notice that? How they had screens like on one side?
Yeah, but it was the side that I was facing, so I was happy.
Yeah, you were happy. I couldn't see anything. I was like, "What's happened?" No one knew.
I wasn't looking at it, to be fair. I wasn't really watching it because from where I was, I wasn't struggling for a view. But for me, when I seen it live, to be fair, I mean, you guys in the chat were surprised. I haven't seen a proper replay, but when I seen it live, it just looked like ball's gone in bent double. So I don't see how a high tackle could have been done on him if he's gone in like head first. To be fair,
It's for me. It's more the fact of the onus is always on the defensive player, and if I know it's Pollock, I know people can say, "Oh, you don't even go." It's not. It doesn't matter who it was. The fact is he was able to get his arm in position to wrap basically around Jake's head, which obviously where the contact landed. If he's got time to react to do that, he's got time to react and try and get low. That's the point I'm making. My instant reaction was that's going to be at least a yellow. I mean, I think a penalty would have been a fair reflection, given the actual interactions of what happened. But to give nothing when a player has been sparked out, and the player that's actually caused it was standing upright, I think it's laughable.
Yeah, and when you consider that it's Jake Ball, he's not exactly green. Like, it's not like some amateur player who's been pulled up to the Champions Cup who's taking a guess at how to run at a line. Like, it's the onus is on the defensive player to be in a position where they can tackle the attacking player in a safe and reasonable way. That's how I view it. And he, like Matt says, he does have time to react to that. If he's standing in the defensive line, he should have time to react to that player coming in. Now, personally, I think the reason he doesn't react is because they are trying to do 2-up tackles. Yeah, they are trying to have someone go low and someone choke like the whole time. And we were doing that in a lot of the game as well. They were just trying to slow down the attack there. And I don't think he was intentionally trying to.
Oh, no.
No, it's not intentional at all. But like, it's to not even give a penalty for something like that, I think sends the wrong message when everything else that's going on in the game at the moment is about trying to limit head contact. So that felt a little bit strange.
Anyone else bite in, or are we done for that one?
No, I didn't. Like I said, I haven't seen replays.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Except for live in the ground, obviously. I think I prefer your guys' view, if I'm totally honest. Would have been nice to have been there.
I did see what happened next when he's flat in his face. I was like, what has happened? He's a big lad. Yeah.
We just have to chop that up now. I don't know what happened. He's a big lad. Sounds like you had a bad night.
I don't know. Just don't expect him to go down. That's the thing.
So, already said, the result doesn't exactly match up with the performance. I mean, I think we can go player by player, and
I think if you go player by player, you talk about everything that happened in the game because every player had something to do with the game, and there's like a narrative there. Like, so if you start with Kems, number one, obviously you've referenced it already, Mark. Got a yellow card. I feel like the ref just didn't like his face. So look, we know obviously losing Jake Ball behind him has had a massive impact. Like if we talk about things that we've learned, Tame Plumtree is not a second row.
No.
So that losing that heft is massive. But I don't know, man. You're the scrum guy.
I mean, the problem is they all came within the first 35 minutes, and his side of the scrum was not televised at all. So we can't say for sure exactly what is happening, but you can gauge from what's happening on the other side. I mean, I cannot remember the Saints Lucet's name for whatever reason, but at least 2-3 times Henry Thomas had him up and going back and really got under him. That's why he reacted later in the game. That's another thing, how we didn't get a penalty from that push off the ball, like again. But gone, let it be. The actual, I want to say it's the one you got the yellow for. You can see the Saints tight head drop and his head hit the floor quite soon. And it's just, obviously, that's not automatically meaning, he's at fault. But, more often than not, and it's just a hard one when we don't have, the angles to actually say what has happened. But, of the, I think 5 penalties went against him. I think, at least 3 of them, and I can't even say either way on the other 2 were wrong. It seems as though he's got, kind of similar to Tane in like a reputation of, oh, he's there, must be a penalty. That does seem to be something that goes up against Kems because he goes through phases. in terms of actual scrimmaging, he is by far the best loosehead Wales have got at the minute. But when you're considering, for some whatever reason, he's getting loads of pens against him, it's just, you're faced unfit, like you said. There's something going wrong there that needs sorting.
What I didn't like about it was, I can't say whether the offenses were like technically there or not. I'm not that much of a technician when it comes to front rowers, but I've been watching like the games on the Saturday. I watched Stormers v Leicester and I watched Gloucester v Toulon. And in those games, Leicester and Gloucester were getting absolutely hosed at scrum time. They were going backwards at a rate of knots. And the referee was protecting them. The referee was saying to like the team going forward, like, no, you got to play away. You got to get the ball out there. You got to play on. Yet when it's us, when it's our game, when we're struggling at scrum time, because I think it's fair to say that we did struggle, when we're struggling, it's penalty time. So I'm watching multiple games a weekend where it's so long as the ball gets out of the scrum, we forget anything that's happened in the front row. Yeah, when it's the Scarlets playing, it's whistle, 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 whistle. And there was two when the ball was out. It was literally in Sam Costello's hands, the ball, by the time the whistle gets blown. Now, I spoke to someone who suggested that it was actually the linesman who was calling it in and saying, ref, you need to ping this, which would explain the delay. But it's just not consistent. And it's a bigger problem than just the Scarlets. It's across all of rugby. It's just not consistent what referees are at the scrum, because a different referee from one of the other games would have said, so long as the ball is out, no penalty.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
crack on, John. I've spoken
sorry,
for
man.
a while.
Sorry, man. I've got delay on this. I think it's coming down a cable to me. The only thing I would say on it is two things. So first of all, in the second half, you could see when the angle was around the other side, like you could see a lot more clearly what was going on, and you could see that they were at times not driving straight and just sort of shearing off Henry Thomas.
They tried to roll Alec Hepburn. They rolled him in twice. The first one got penalised against him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, like he seemed to land on his back at one point, and he was penalised for it. Maybe I can't remember. Probably, yeah. I don't remember. But the other point as well, then, on Hugh's theory on the linesman, there were a few times in this game where the linesman was calling, or the touch judge was calling, either a forward pass or something at the scrum, and whatever it was, if there was a delay on the comms, like I'm having right now, it was coming to the ref like quite a bit later. That's why we were seeing some knock-on calls or forward pass calls coming back after a phase, and I wonder if that was happening in this as well, because when Archie's got the ball out and we're 2 passes wide and it gets called back, I can't imagine that there's another reason for that to be happening.
I'd like to think that the ref in that situation will go, well, the ball's out, we're playing, let the game flow. Now, I know it wouldn't be nice if it was against us, but I think in terms of rugby overall, that's the way, ref is the ultimate decision maker.
You do tend to see that a lot, though. When decisions go one way, they'll keep going one way unless something drastically changes. I think he was looking for us to actually infringe on the scrum by the end.
Yeah, I asked both Nigel Davis and Josh McLeod about just generally discipline, not just at the scrum, just discipline in general with the Scarlets. And Nigel Davis was like, "Oh, we've just got to be whiter than white when we do it. It's in our control, etc., etc." Josh was a little bit more, let his frustration show a little bit. By the way, Nigel Davis, he was sat maybe less than 5 meters away from me in the media bits. He was sat on the very end. I've heard him shouting. He was giving the ref a hard time. Like, the ref definitely didn't hear him, but he was letting his frustration out. So he's calmed down by the end of the game, and he's kind of put the politician's face on for when speaking to the press. But during the game, he was not happy. Josh, when I asked him, he was a little bit more forthcoming, and he said, when you're a team that's on a bad run of form, sometimes the easy decision is just to penalise that team. And he said sometimes it's just a bit easy to penalise the Scarlets. So, we watch
and
them
the away
week,
team.
So.
And the away team.
And the away team, good point.
Yeah, especially Northampton.
It compounds, isn't it? That's the problem. That's what Josh was saying as well in your interview with him. It's the being low at the bottom of the table, being away, being and having a reputation for not being a clean team. And like Nigel Davis said in that as well, you just got to be. It's easy to say because interpretation will be interpretation, but you have to be whiter than white. As Nigel
and
Davis
Nigel did say, yeah, the difference was the scrum. We win those scrums, we win the game really in that sense.
Well, yeah, we're talking how many scrum penalties altogether? 6. Obviously not all of them were our put in, but a good few of them were. So that's, let's say, three attacks off set piece per there. Obviously, Costy's first game back, so there's going to be some give. 2 missed kicks to touch. That's another 2. So you're talking there's at least 5. Opportunities to really try and run. A strike phase, a first phase move, which we saw for what feels like the first time in forever, and it came off with, who was it? Elias? Was there Elias scoring? Or was
Elias
it
was.
Oh, it was the Falcon. Yeah, that's the one. I liked. What was that? Oh,
you looked like you were trying to get your shoulders to settle in the jersey.
No,
was
I've had. I'll tell you off air, but there's a story behind that. So that's Kemsley. Ryan Elias scored. Didn't notice much wrong with his darts. I think he got 1 pinched, but I don't necessarily think it was his fault. Carrying physical enough, isn't he?
I love Elias. I've always wanted.
You've always been a Ryan Elias apologist.
I mean, when he came back, I think after the autumn, I think I even said to you that you didn't understand it, but I said it was his best game since Ken Owens.
Well, Kevin Owens not playing, man.
same size as Sheriff. But no, it was the best game that he played since Ken Owens was around, and that's absolutely massive. What we saw of, Elias, probably 2023 and before, and was a much different player to what we've had for about 18 months, 2 years. So to see him come on his last few performances, and obviously Marnus has, attributed to that, having him there, having him have such a good season last year. I don't think he's quite hitting the heights as this season as of yet, but he's not playing bad by any means. But Elias has got that proper competition now, and he's putting himself back in that mindset, and he's playing amazing. I actually thought he brought him off a little bit too soon, to be fair. There's a few selection things I think we all had a little niggle with, but overall, it was pretty good. I thought Elias had a great game, and I'm just dreading the thought of him going back with Wales. I really am, because
Well, he's come back from injury, and he's his criticism before going was his dart, wasn't it? You was getting a lot of
that was a lot of like created narrative around him. That I'm not going to sit here and say that he was the best in the world, but like Wales's lineout at international level, Wales's lineout was horrible. Like the game against Australia where he got a lot of stick, he came off the bench and the first 3 lineouts that he's been asked to throw were all to the tail, and Australia picked them all up.
Yeah, we had 3 of those to me.
Overthrows, in this game,
which worked. So it's nice to see.
And small point, because you guys won't have heard this being in the stadium, Ref Mike did pick him up sledging in the scrum, which was a lot of fun. Sledge in the front row. That was enjoyable.
I got to keep him up, see him now. It was great hearing. We're going. I think we're going numerically, and we saw on to Henry Thomas.
Big hesitate.
Yeah, doesn't remember you from your
Does
Bordeaux
not remember
days.
me. I spent a good hour speaking to him in Bordeaux when he came and he was going into the tunnel. I went, "All right, mate," and he just went and carried on walking. I did get a thumbs up from Tane though. Tane was like, "Hey, thumbs up!" So that was nice. That was nice. But anyway, we're not on Tane yet. Big hesitate.
Yeah, despite the frailties we had at the scrum, he was solid. He got the better of his opposite number. And like I've already said, we saw that frustration come out when he drove him back. The scrum sort of set off, and then he just got pushed off the ball, and we had a mini scruffle. But his work rate, he's the same as most forwards. Carrying, constant rucking. It's just what they do. Is that there's a lot of unseen work. Is those short bursts, those short carries that people don't really trying to focus on. And I don't know if you've got his numbers, but there by any chance.
I had
But,
him here. He had three carries. Like nothing fancy, but like you said, those are they're normally the little short yardage carries that you need to set up a new ruck when you're planning your exits, whatever it is.
When you talk about hard yards, that's hesitate to a T.
Hesitate does not hesitate.
And then it's the same when, you're on the opposition 5. You want your front 5 to be pushing those few inches every single time. And we didn't actually get in those positions very much in this game, unfortunately. But no, I'm happy.
One thing I will say about Heza is that I asked Josh McCard about the captaincy, and he said that he's got a lot of leaders, players around him who are ready to lead. And the forwards were in a huddle before the game, and the guy who was giving the team talk was Henry Thomas, and he was like laying it down, like he was getting his arm going, he was like properly giving it some to the boys in the huddle. And I think that's when you talk to players, you find out the value that some players bring that you just don't know about when you're just watching on TV. And he is 100%. This is why I love going to ropes. Some people say that it's better to watch sport on TV than go in person. I don't think that with all sports. Formula One is better on TV than in person. I can tell you that much. But rugby, I love watching in person because you see things like that you don't see on TV.
Especially if you got a ref mic like you do at the park. Only £12.
One time buy, it's yours for life.
But I think great game for Henry. I mean, not really much. Was ball 4 or 5? I can't remember.
Ball's 5.
Ball's 5. So on to
Douglas.
Maximus, the main man.
Top line out taker.
Nice to see after, last week where
so he was.
Tane took absolutely everything. So, I think that bit of variance, having an actual line out forward alongside Tane really, really helps.
Scarlets top 5 lineouts in the Champions Cup, 92% success.
Woohoo! Happy days. Clearly missed last week. Clearly missed. Whether it was, having Tane on the bench or having Lousy or Ball on the bench or even himself. He's a massive player for us, one of our better players last season, and instantly see the impact that he makes. He is abrasive, he's big, he does his work, and I got nothing against the man in this game.
No, didn't think he was, apart from his line-out takes, I didn't think he was like everywhere. He wasn't exceptional, but he is normally until you watch something back and you see that he's the one. Again, shit-talking people in the scrum, little dig in the ribs here and there. That's what I like about him. but he's one of those. He's an off-the-ball workhorse who you need, and he was good.
Well, so I think we'll come to Pringle in this one because we haven't heard from him in a while. So Jake Ball, do you think he had a good game?
Yeah, first few minutes were good. What time did he actually go down?
It was
I'll tell you now. 7th minute.
7th minute. Yeah, he was carrying well before that. Hope he's okay. Yeah. He's a big boy,
Yeah, he walked off, didn't he? He was, yeah.
Yeah.
What was he? 6'6", 120 odd kilos, whatever it is. Actually, I don't think he's that heavy anymore.
I think that's because Ben Warburton said to him, mate, you're going to have to walk off because I ain't carrying you.
Does he still work for us, Ben?
I think so.
But someone said he doesn't work for us anymore.
I mean, I haven't seen his face in a while.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to say either way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we'd announce that.
He keeps popping up on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen it. Like, he's something to do with tape, like physio's tape.
Oh. I thought you got to work somewhere else. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen him on TV recently enough.
Speaking of,
I keep an eye open.
People who we also saw at this game, we saw Bradley Davis.
Yep.
Was there in person. And Scott Snedden was there. And that's an open question. I'd never noticed Scott Snedden at a game before. I don't know if that's changed.
I can't say away games. He's always at home games.
Okay.
And I noticed Dwayne was there, coaching, which was nice to see. because I don't see him down the park very, very rarely. He's always up in the box.
He had a nice time because all his friends were in the box with him this week. He wasn't alone. It was good.
Yeah, I think there was a change. I think there was a change in attitude. And that was nice to see. It's hard for me to actually comment on players because I haven't watched the game back. I haven't had a chance to. So you gotta have to walk me through it, guys.
I just have that analytical.
You also have probably 20/20
I'm just
vision.
opinionated. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Man with multiple podcasts, opinionated.
I didn't notice that about you, actually.
Okay, so obviously Jake Paul was nice and quick. So let's take the back row as a whole then, because this is going to drag on otherwise. Third game in a row we've had Plumtree back at 6. Obviously Captain McLeod, and I've forgotten his first name.
Archer.
Fletcher.
Every time I want to call him Archer.
Fletcher Anderson. I know we've already spoken about it in recent weeks, but this is a back row that is balanced and it is a back row that is working. I mean, Tane can do his Tane things, Josh can do his Josh work, and obviously Fletch just carries and
Fletch
carries
is
and
an
carries.
absolute animal. He's an
Machine.
animal. You watch him and you're like, he gets tackled, and you're like, oh, he's been tackled. Oh no, he's still going. Like it's mad. He had a bust early in the first half. And
it's after Archie's try, yeah.
He had, I think he was our top carrier on the day. I think he was our top tackler on the day. And he is joint second top carrier in the Champions Cup overall. All teams, Toulouse, Bordeaux, Bath, anybody. He's joint second. And he is outright first with 25 defenders beaten in the pool stage. No one has beaten more defenders in the Champions Cup so far this season than Fletcher Anderson.
That's awesome.
That's playing away in Bordeaux and Northampton.
So literally a European finalist from the last season, as well as obviously England #1 at the minute. Where UBB are they top? Are they close to top?
They're not top at the moment, but they're going well in the cup.
Really but obviously, second in top 14 in Po. That's not too bad of an opposition either. So he's come up against some heavy artillery. And to be able to basically play the way he has been awesome. 6.25 men a game beaten. I don't know where that quarter of a man is, but I'm sure they're hiding somewhere now after that. But no, I'm sad the fact that obviously Carwyn Tuplot had to go for us to eventually bring Fletcher in.
Great game for Poe. Shout out Carwyn.
2 weeks in a row. He's brilliant against us last week as well. I think he put up his own little highlight reel. Like it's only about 30 seconds, but there's a good 5-6 moments really in that clip.
Yeah.
You're thinking that's a highlight reel from one game. That's what that's when you're a decent player. When you take in
he got taken off on 50 minutes. It all went to shit, by the way, for Poe when he came off.
There we go. He's the glue. Well, let's be honest, their fortune has changed massively. They were 13th when he arrived, and now they're flying high. And they improved instantly when he arrived last season. He is the glue of, I can't say their proper name, Section Palois, something, is it?
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Well, hey, happy days. It would be lovely to have both of them. And we would obviously be spoiled for choice. Who knows, maybe if we had a bit of extra funding in a year or so's time to bring him home. Because I know we've spoken to him plenty of times. And we know how much he loves Wales, and his heart belongs to Wales. So, we're hoping we just bring him home soon before that. What is he? He's Tongan, isn't he? As well, before that Tongan link picks him up, because they'd be stupid not to be looking at him as well, especially given his age.
Just on Josh, I love Josh McLeod.
Yeah.
When it's something that I have now learned is that when you're speaking to him, he stares at you and he stares into your very soul. He unblinking, he just stares at you.
I noticed that on your interview. He was staring at you and you were like,
it's proper it's not intimidating. Intimidating is the wrong word, but it's proper.
You fell in love.
Yeah, I fell in love. On that subject, I've got a highly cancelable take about Josh McLeod, and I'm talking like I might be starting a war here.
Go for it.
Josh McLeod should be Wales captain.
Not against it.
The internet just broke.
Did I Did I put it in our group or did I put it in a different group about my comparison with him and Jack Morgan to Warburton and Tips?
No, you said
Yes.
that in ours. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the I think obviously we had that relationship with Warburton and Tipperick before, where Warburton was the number one, and obviously Tipperick an absolutely amazing player. He just coming and around. I think that's the exact same with Josh McLeod and Jack Morgan. If it wasn't for Josh's injuries and the timings of them, Josh would be captain, no doubt about that. And a lot of Jack's caps would have come off the bench. It probably still would have been a Lion too. Both of them would have. I've no doubt about that.
It's you talk about Jack Morgan. Is he Wales's best player? Yes. Although I think that Thomas Williams deserves to be in that bracket as well. So I'm not arguing that. This is not about who's the better player. That's not the point that I'm making.
It's how good Josh is.
I'm talking about when you're Wales captain, I'm expecting more from you than just to be a good rugby player. And if you talk about someone who's not afraid to speak his mind, not afraid to stand up for his teammates, not afraid to be accountable, not afraid to go on record and be interviewed in massive publications, national press, saying what he thinks, standing up for his club. That's Josh McLeod. So you're talking player. I'm not. That's not the point I'm trying to make. Captain, leader, taking Josh McLeod every day of the week.
Yeah, that I can 100% see why you're with it on that side of it. For in terms of like having a club style captain, especially when the team are in the doldrums as they are at the moment, someone who they know is sort of fighting for them at every ruck, at every minute of every game. He gives you that, definitely. And my favorite bit of your interview with him was that bit where you said, "Oh, what talking about the penalties given away." He goes, "Yeah, well, a lot of those come because we like to play on the edge, and I don't really want to lose that." And that is the sort of captain that I would want to have for Wales. But then we'd lose him potentially more often.
Yeah. It's a catch-22. I think we're going to come on to this. It won't be this campaign, but if he keeps playing as he is, I can see Archie Hughes being in the Welsh camp soon enough. He, these last couple of games, for me, he's done enough to be my starting 9 with Cowdo on the bench.
Yeah, I think that works. It works, and we actually said this last season. We said, it's time for this now, and it's just great to see him get a run of games and play well and score the Falcon, getting a couple of tries. I just love it.
He was great this game. He was really, really good. And I don't know how much of that is him individually and what they might have changed in the game plan over the week, what they might have simplified. Because I do feel like they gave him slightly more kicking responsibilities than normal. But
kicking was great.
Say again?
Kicking was great.
His kicking was great, though.
Phil Dowson called that out in his post-match. He said the kicking from 9 really caused us a lot of problems. Scarlets 7 kicks retained in this game.
Yeah. I actually was comparing. I wrote a few notes comparing their kicks. I feel like Archie's the majority of his contestables were short or just not quite long enough, but they were contestable every single time. Someone was able to get a hand to every single one of his contestable kicks.
Well,
sorry, Matt.
Yeah, I'm thinking in terms of that. Would you rather be a little bit short and try and get our ball back, or be a little bit too long and then that
short every time?
So I think that's a positive work on. You'd rather work from short and go longer to get the right distance rather than going from the other end.
Definitely. But then there were times when a couple of kicks, he had a kick go out on the full, which was unfortunate because it was centimeters from being out. You say it's not out on the full, or
millimeters?
Millimeters of it.
Yeah, I don't think it was, mind. From when it landed right by where we were. I didn't think it was out on the full, but they didn't go back to look at it either. So
it looked on the line. It was really, we didn't get a close-up view from the TV either. But regardless, it was a good choice. Like, that kick was on. It was a really good choice for him to choose. There was so much space in the backfield there. It was the right choice for him to go for, I felt. So
but these are big games for him to play in, aren't they? To start, he's still young. He has hardly played a full game. They chucked him in against Gloucester last year, and he's had 2 runs now on the bounce, and he's really impressed. And I think this is what we want to see going forward, isn't it? The young players getting a chance to play. minutes in a game where they have a chance to actually do something. And I think Archie is only going to get better, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's gonna be a Wales 9, I think.
Yeah, I think we need to remember that Archie, he's still senior academy age, which it's just the fact that he's
How
been
old
around.
is he?
He's 22.
Yeah.
He's just the fact that he's been around with us for so long. Obviously, we didn't recruit nines a couple of seasons ago, so he ended up being our second choice when he'd had barely no minutes. So, pushed into the limelight early, but, he's bang on time to be making these performances.
And also having Cowder on the bench upgrades our bench so much as well.
And
I feel for Dane, though. I feel for Dane.
There's going to be games. It's going to be rotations.
Yeah.
You will have a chance. But also having Corder on the bench means there is a 9 on the bench that we're actually likely to bring on. Obviously, that might be changing now because we have Nigel over now. But before, when we were talking about problems actually bringing subs on, that's not really a problem when you've got Corder on the bench because you can trust him to see the game out.
Yeah.
A bit of depth. Nice.
Yeah. I think that's something that Dane would have discussed, before coming in, because obviously we would have had that faith in Archie. Probably, I don't want to say it was misplaced, but it was probably a little bit too early to put all of that faith in him for the year he was second. I think it was only last season, wasn't it? And there must have been a conversation with Dane. Is look, you were brilliant with us before. I know you were on the edge of the Wales squad, but right now you're coming in, you're fighting for that second jersey, and there's a chance that you're not going to be the winner of that. So, obviously Cowder's not going to be around forever, and that position is.
Ask him. He says he is.
Well, I think he's. You know what I think? I think he's going to try and play longer to be the oldest 9 Scarlets have ever played. So he's got to beat out Mike Phillips. He's got to beat out another Scarlet 9.
Well, we'll see how that goes. But it's I'm as long as he's happy doing it occasionally from the bench, I don't mind. As long as we can give Archie game time, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think he starts at the Arms Park though. That's your only caveat.
The Corder Arms Park.
That's a certain every year. Even if he retires, he's come back for that game.
and it's the 2066.
Yeah.
Scarlets,
you just hear the
Scarlets
Undertaker
Cardiff
music
Derby.
playing,
Yeah.
and there's like the door, like the tunnel is just all flames around it, and he just walks out with a cowboy.
Sponsored by Cowdo.
Yeah.
And here it is in the 65th minute as he throws the Zimmer frame to one side. Gareth Davis has intercepted the ball.
Still intercepts the ball, scores.
Yeah, how do you go like he is now the top try scorer at Scarlets and Cardiff.
Yeah, that should be his goal, actually. Top try scorer of all time at the Arms Park.
I could
see him staying for that reason.
Can we check actually, like how close he is to that record? Because he must be approaching double figures.
Yeah, I know he scored 7 in his last 4 appearances there.
Who scored more tries at Arms Park, Cowder or Thomas Williams?
Ooh, you're gonna have to say Thomas.
This is Googleable.
Ask AI.
No, AI will tell me that Thomas Williams scored 3 goals in his career at the Arms Park.
You're gonna have to go through all rugby and check out home try.
Right, well, else new John is that, so let's move on.
Okay, so moving on now, the one and only Sam Costello. And while we're kind of on the front of talking about young players, obviously Archie, not Cowdo, he's not young. He's young at heart, young in mind, nothing else. Nigel, in his little post-match with you, and, since in Wales Online, there's been mention that our second choice 10 for this game was Carwyn Leggett-Jones. And he was, told, if Sammy pulls up, you will be starting. And, obviously we heard that direct from Nige, I've heard it direct from Kaz. So that is fact. He knows, he's told this boy, you're my number 2. And, that's the confidence that's going to do, not just for the kid, but, for the whole squad, knowing we're actually going to play with a 10 is going to be amazing. But straight on to Sammy, first game back, great performance.
Missed touch twice. Other than that,
niggles.
I have no notes.
Niggles. You're going to have niggles when you play 80 minutes. Probably No, I'll be honest. It seems like he might have been rushed back a bit because we were told more or less he wouldn't be playing these games
because Nigel Davis has gone, Big Nige has gone as far as saying like there was a good chance that CLJ was going to start this game, but I'm told that San Costello's ankle was showing no signs of jip when he was playing darts over Christmas, so he's fine.
There's really a lot of stress going on that ankle when you play darts, so I think we can trust that. He should have been back for New Year's Day. That's what I'm going to say.
But yeah, I loved the invention for Jack Davis's try. I never saw that chip coming. I never thought. I don't know, Pringle, you watching it in the ground. I was like, I thought that was going out the back every day of the week.
Yeah, he kicked in. I was like, oh, what's he doing by here? Oh, we've scored. Oh God! And then everyone just realized we scored and just went nuts. But yeah, it was great vision. Absolutely great vision. I've seen the clip back online, and even the commentators were like, "That is world class." And we've always said that about Koscielny. I'll never forget. Was it a few games ago when he did those 2 kicks either side of Chris Bristol?
Mm-hmm.
It's just his vision. I mean, he's only going to get better as well. He just needs a consistent amount of games now. But yeah.
And I think the Welsh media and pundits, outside of West Wales, obviously, have finally chirped up.
I want to call this out, right? These are the people who are supposed to be experts on the likes of these TV shows, trying to educate the Welsh public about rugby. And then in the last week, they started going, "Oh, Scarlets are better when Sam Costello plays, aren't they?" It's like, yeah, it's been like that for 3 years now.
Well, we've said it every podcast.
The amount of people that you see just commenting on, "Oh, they've been poor over the derbies." I can't understand what's going on. They've got Hawkins. He's meant to be the savior of Welsh rugby. He's starting at 10 for them. I don't understand. It's more than a little bit frustrating, but yeah, hopefully this game can add fuel to the fire of Sam Costello actually
he's
become the best
cool
10
again.
in Wales.
He's become cool again.
Yeah,
he's a counterculture.
It's now cool to say, "Oh, Sam Costello is actually quite good,"
Yeah, I think we have to go. I think it's because there's a 10 sort of, let's say, put in front of him that he has to beat, that he's cool again. Now they said, "Oh, Dan Edwards is a starting 10." Oh, he's actually pretty good now, isn't he? Because obviously he was Patchell, and like he displaced Patchell when he was 20 years old. And Patchell was in his prime. That was peak Patchell. That 22. Those few years he was absolutely amazing. And the kid came and bloody displaced him. I do have a sad inkling that we might see the the past rehash itself in a couple of years' time with the 2 times we've gone now. But Sammy, he's just so good, and I don't understand how people haven't seen it. That variance in kick was just brilliant.
Ever since I seen him beat England under-20s on his own in the under-26 Nations. By the way, do you know who was playing 12 when in that game?
Dingwall?
No, for Wales.
Oh.
Hawkins?
It was Sam Costello, Joe Hawkins with the Wales under-20 10-12 in that game. And Joe Hawkins scored a try assisted by Sam Costello.
Hopefully something we will see many times over in their career. Can I quickly make a point about that try? Because I loved it.
Yeah.
It's a dummy. I'm almost certain of this. It's like a dummy 13-man maul. Like, I watched it back, and at first I thought I was a bit nuts about it. But then I realized, you look how tight they are going into the actual line out. And then Cawdor calls them in. Like, he puts his hand out, and he's like, come on. And they motion to go in. And then suddenly everyone turns and motions out wide. And then it's passed to Eddie James, gives him a little bit of time, gets it out to Costi, and he can kick over. It's timed like beautifully.
See, this is the kind of thing that we saw last season with our starter plays that we just haven't seen this season.
And the problem with this game, and I think part of the reason that Nigel Davis was given out so much about the scrums afterwards, was I kind of think they came in this with a lot of starter plays. And I think that's what they were able to practice over the week. Because, I mean, we'll talk about them later, but you've got Ellis Mees try, that came off the starter play as well. Costello's, it's not a starter play, it's like the third or fourth phase, but it's basically just following off from, is it off a line out? I'm struggling to remember now. But it's really clearly planned out from the moment that they go to take them all to ground or take the line out down. And so I think, yeah, that's why they were so gutted about the scrums being shite.
So do we go to the centres or do we go to our left winger?
Centres.
Yeah, centres.
I think we've learned a lot about Joe Hawkins this week in terms of his standing in the squad. Because ever since Big Nige has come in, it's gone. Like the fact that Costello played the full 80, he said that if Costello wasn't fit, it was going to be Carwyn Leggett-Jones, and the fact that Joe Hawkins got subbed.
Yeah, that said a lot. We were all speculating before the game. Obviously, Max Page being on the bench, he can
had a good impact, by the way.
Yeah,
a really good impact.
It's good to see Max back.
Yeah, he can play on the wing, play 13, but he could, he could have come on for Costello, Hawkins, or Eddie James and slotted in at 13, and the others just maneuver around as needed. Obviously, he came on for Joe, so Eddie shifted into 12, him to 13. If it was Eddie, it would have been a switch swap. If he came on for Costello, it would have been shifting Joe and Eddie over 1 and him in 13 again. So the fact that he came on for Joe, I think it tells us that obviously Eddie is our number 1 centre. I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind about that right now.
Nige said it was one of his better games for us. It's interesting. I feel like the perception of Eddie inside the Scarlets is different from our perception of him. Because when I've spoken to people, they're kind of a little bit, Johnny Williams is still the guy. We're struggling to get the best out of him. I don't know. Every time I watch him, I just think he's class. But I will say that I'm afraid, Mark, you're just going to have to get used to EJ13. I think it's a thing now.
I don't want to, but we've seen EJ10, EJ12, EJ6, EJ13. We're seeing he's just playing everywhere. It's just what he does.
EJ6 is the new conspiracy theory. That's and then after a few games, I'll be calling for him to go to 7, but give it time.
If he can play 6, he can play 4, surely.
Well, he is 6'4", so you see, I think he's similar height to Plumtree. So he's not far off. I'll be honest. If we go back probably 30 years ago now, he would have been in the forwards. There's no doubt about that. But Eddie is a class above, and even when he's having off games, like if you look at our performances against, and I include Cardiff, but look at all 3 derbies. Even though we won that game, we were not great by any stretch of the imagination. But Eddie did not look poor in any of those games, and I think it was even, was it last season? I think it was against the Ospreys. I think who sent me a few clips where he did embarrass Kieran Williams and Owen Watkin a couple of times, and you're like, this is a kid with the world at his feet. We just need to. We've got a lot of great, talented youngsters, and I'm talking, 23 and under. There's a few 25 and unders as well to come in there. But if we plan and we build these players properly, we're talking world class level players, not just international class. We're talking world class. This could be the start of a generation, of a second golden generation. In this side of the millennium. This is the standard of play. I mean, I know we haven't come on yet, but Ellis Mee has been outstanding. Like, he was great last season. Really good. He's had his
last 5 games.
Yeah, he's had his few niggles with the area ball, even though that's something Tom Shanklin thinks he's known for and is amazing at. These last few games, he's been outside form winger in Wales. I know Rio Dyer's got his hand up for
Rio
that.
Dyer's playing well.
But I give it to me personally, and Dyer is like right behind. So I think I saw Sport in Wales put Mee is a bolter or 6 maybe surprise selections for Wales. It's like, see, a guy who's been in like the last few squads.
Literally played in Wales' last game.
Outside bet.
Outside bet.
What? Just quickly before we move off the centres, EJ and JH. It's Northampton's first try. That is a maul. They've held him up.
100%.
I saw it in real life, and then I've seen a replay since. Not on any planet does the Northampton player get a knee down.
Is one of a few decisions that I had a problem with, to be honest. But like, it's very clear, and they clearly went in with the choke tackle being a strategy they wanted to employ, because we attempted to hold up players or just to slow down attacks just with it, and we just weren't getting any change with it. That was the problem, really, with that tactic. But yeah,
it is what it is. So spoke a bit about me, but there he was just excellent. Everything he done. I mean, how many he must have taken at least 4 or 5 kicks, and the work he does for the Falcons try is just brilliant. Cutting back inside, beating 2 men before going down and making the pop off.
The way that he does the handoff to kind of propel himself forward, that makes the try. I thought there were 3 times that happened right in front of me. I was actually filming it, so I've got my angle of it. I thought he was in touch about twice, and each time, no, he's still going.
Ballerina feet.
It is, wow. Some of the things, like he pulled off some amazing things last year. That tackle.
He had a great tackle. It won't make any highlight reels. We had a great tackle. The Northampton player tried to take him on the outside, and he just scythes him down.
Oh, he swings around, doesn't he? Yeah, I know. It's tackles like that. You see a lot from a 13 more than you do a winger. But it's just those sort of tackles where you show the man you're outside, and you show your skill level, whether you're back in your pace or you're back in the line you're picking. And it's something he's done, and he's done really well. I mean,
and to think, right, you might not have had this chance to play if we didn't have the injuries we had last year.
Yeah,
because he was only chosen because I think Tommy Lewis
did his ACL against Dragons.
Yeah. And that's the only time he had a chance to show what he can do. And he's been playing he played for Wales then a few weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows how good he is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say there's just one thing I noticed with all of the all of the backline was or at least wingers and fullback, was that I feel like they kicked a lot less in this game than we often see them do in attack. So I went back to have a check, and Murray had 1, me had 2. Really low compared to other games that we've been doing. So I wonder if they've had that kick option taken away from them, basically. And when you force Alice Mead to keep a ball in hand, I think that's part of the reason that you get, because I don't think 2 games ago
he doesn't kick 50-22 though.
He did kick 50-22, but he didn't kick while he was like in the opposition half, like with defenders in front of him, which is often what we'd see him do. And I think by taking that option away from him, I think that's when you start getting some really good dancing feet off him, because he knows he has to keep going forward.
Yeah.
And I think that works for him.
If we now switch to the other wing, second game in a row after injury, we do have to state that after injury, Blair has just looked lost. And I don't know what the issue is. Having those kicks taken away, being forced to use your feet, as I said, that would work for me. It should have worked for Blair as well. I mean, you normally see a lot more of your left winger, with ball in hand than you do your right. And obviously we didn't have that today.
Did anyone else notice the switching? They kept switching wings.
I didn't see that.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it happened like 3 or 4 times where they were switching, and a few people said like, "Oh, they're switching." So Blair came on to the right hand side.
Was it just the wing swapping, or was Jack Davis involved in that as well?
Because
all 3 of them can play 15.
There was, I'm not sure, but I did notice them switching. So, I mean, that's me looking from the sidelines there. So, yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering now, how many times did Murray actually touch the ball? Because if he's not on song and Ellis Me is, are they?
One of the Northampton's fans said like, "Oh, I forgot Blair Murray was playing in this."
He was a bit like that when he first signed for us. When he first signed for us, and he was on the wing for the first 3 games, barely touched the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't give Tommy a go in the last 20.
Yeah, I mean,
that
was surprising.
Seeing as,
Blair was as poor as he was.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see why they couldn't have just ad-libbed and changed him, but...
I really felt watching it live, or watching it on the TV, I thought Blair had a bad game, I'll be honest. Watching it back today, I feel like he had an average game. I don't feel like he was actually that bad.
Okay, but is it average by normal standards or average by Blay standards?
It's average by normal standards. That's the thing. So it's him playing poor, but he doesn't actually do that much wrong. There was a point where they score a try that, was it the penultimate try, where I thought watching it, that's Blair Murray's busted coverage, where he should come over and get it. I did watch it back. I think it's actually more Jack Davis not trusting me to make the tackle. And then that's where the first line break comes through. Yes, okay, Murray has the cover tackle, but at that point, like the break has already come through and it should have been stopped earlier. So that feels a little
soft.
bit
When I was watching it in real time, it felt like, because they had a ruck as well. If it was off first phase, you could say they manipulated it, but I was disappointed with that try.
Yeah, that felt like maybe not the easiest one that they got past us, but it definitely felt like that could have been stopped with just trusting the system. Like everything was going right. It was just late in the game, heads go. It is what it is.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you've got a player that's in the squad regularly, playing even semi-regularly. They learn to trust those players, without more than a niggling doubt. Obviously, Jack had those great 3 games, Glasgow and the first 2 European games, and then he was seconded back to the Drovers, which is looking like probably the worst decision, one of the worst decisions Dwayne made.
He's made Dwayne look a mug, to be honest. And I asked Nigel Davis, Big Nige, about him specifically, and he said, I had no hesitation in selecting him. Absolutely no hesitation in selecting him. So that really begs the question, the whole Johan Nicholas thing over the derbies. What's gone on there? Because
it also begs why they don't listen to this podcast more. Because when did I start saying about Jack? Was it last season?
He's been bashing down the door. He's unlucky because there's times when he's not played, but it's because he's got a full international Welsh back 3 in front of him.
Yeah,
so you can be like, I can understand why you're not, and Max Page as well. So you can see why his opportunity has been limited. But since he's come into the team, he's played in away to Bordeaux and Northampton in the Champions Cup and stood out.
And Bristol at home, where he really stood out in that game. I thought he looked really impressive in that game too. But it's madness.
He's great in the air, absolutely fantastic in the air.
Oh, he made a few of his trademark runs as well, beating a few men along the way. That's what I've come to be watching in SRC. Even Welsh Prem before that for years. You see those sort of runs that he makes from fullback. And he does beat players for fun, whether it is semi-professional. You can say, oh, that's a different league. But he's done the exact same thing in every game he's played at this level as well. It's what he does. Like he doesn't have as much X factor as a Max Page or a Blair Murray can, but he's definitely got plenty of it himself. And he will create tries. He might not score many, but he will be, just like me, I think, actually. He'll create a lot. You'll get a lot more try assists out. If you include try assists when you're tallying up, he'll be level pegging or probably even in front of a lot of players, because it's just the work that he does to put others into space as well.
Yeah, but they don't need to score all the tries because they're going to have Archie behind him running support lines, and that boy can run a support line like the best of them. So it's not needed.
It's exciting. So onto the bench now. Obviously, I don't know.
Well, Heps, I did think did improve. He painted a different picture for the ref. I thought Marnus just carried on what Elias was doing. Hock first scrum won a scrum penalty.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Now I've actually had a conversation with a couple of people over Hock because they were like, "Oh, and didn't really think much of him, pre-injury." And I said, "Well, pre-injury was his breakout season, and he broke into the Welsh 23
capped for Wales."
And okay, I know he's been fit all season, but coming back from what was it? It was an Achilles. Was it his Achilles?
Achilles. Yeah.
We've seen with other players at the Scarlets, Samson Lee not recover from those injuries. We've seen Samson recover from one, not be the same player he was, and then have another and retire. So we know how much damage this can do. And, he's looked steady in his games he's had with us. But this one, his carrying stood out for me in this one, more so than anything. looked solid in the scrum, especially in a scrum that was going, awry. And when you don't have that back in behind you, like obviously we mentioned the impact losing ball has had, and not having a suitable lock on the bench, it just shows how strong of a tight lid you are to not just crumble. And the same goes for Henry Thomas. I should have mentioned that earlier. When you don't have that weight, that support from a scrummaging lock in behind you as a tight head, that's your everything. I know obviously Max Douglas was behind him, but the load is all across. You will feel it no matter what side you're on. So, excellent work by the pair of them. And I'm hoping this means Hawk is returning to pre-injury levels, and that will be not only great for us, but that'll be great for Wales as well.
Agree. Jared Taylor off the bench. Okay. Didn't notice much of him. Dan Davis didn't come on until junk minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Jared, he's a workhorse again. I mean, he slowed a lot of their ball down. I do think we have to give a lot of credit to him and Josh McLeod in that facet, that how they managed to stop Northampton ball from just firing out, because they were just there all the time.
I do think that Jared is very underrated. I think when he comes on, he always makes some sort of impact. I just remember seeing him and the Dragons friendly. There's a pace on the guy as well. If he gets a chance to run with the ball, he is lightning quick. Yeah. So I'm hoping we see more of him, if I'm honest. He played well in the game.
I think he only has one, maybe the stats say one, but I thought watching the game, I thought he had 2 turnovers.
The stats on Rugby Pass for this game were very dodgy.
They seem very odd, yeah. But
he did go off, didn't he, because of the yellow card?
Yeah.
But but he was hunting the whole game, and there were times when he had 2 hands on the ball and he just couldn't get the call, which it goes that way sometimes. But he didn't give up and just kept as many breakdowns as he could get to challenge. He was, and I really like him as a bench player. To be honest, I think especially for a situation exactly like this, where you lose someone like Bull, I think he's kind of an ideal player to have access to come on and kind of do a bit of lock style grunt work at 6.
Yeah, I mean, he can play lock. He has, openly said that in the past. It's not
they can all play lock.
yeah, it's like not a preferred position. But I think he's not exactly a small boy either. I think he's around the 6'2", 6'4" mark himself. There we go. Cowdo came on 47th minute. I mean, I understand. Look, I called that he needed to come on for this game. I didn't say he needed to come on the 47th, but I said he needed to get minutes in to be ready for next week.
Did he come on with a bandage?
He did.
Sorry, say again.
He did,
didn't he? How do you have a bandage straight away?
He thought Jack Davis looked so good with his. He couldn't let him be the sexiest man on the field.
He had one horrendous box kick in his own 22 that was like, okay, yeah, so this problem hasn't solved itself. But other than that, I didn't notice any kind of drop. I like him off the bench. Oh, John, you disagree?
No, I like him off the bench, and I think I'm fully on the Archie 9 Cordo 21 train, but I didn't. I really wasn't a fan of his kicking in this game, and I felt like his contestables were just going a bit too long. I don't know if any of them were retained. His final clearance kick was good. He just had some strange choices. At one point, he was clearing from inside the 22, and he went low and fast with it, and it's caught straight away by the Northampton fullback, and then they just had another attacking set, the 22, 2 seconds later. So I think there's just, I would say, the choice of kicks rather than the accuracy were maybe the issue in this game, but on the positive side, I thought the way he managed the attack when we were on the 5 meter was really, really nice. Okay, we weren't successful on the first one. I think that was turned over by, what did Nigel Davis shout at the time? In at the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was unlucky there. I think Hugh, you pointed out that his passing stats were weirdly high.
He passed more than Archie, but I think that's just kind of how the game went.
he didn't let any pick and goes take place apart from when he himself went and was at the bottom of a ruck.
We struggled. I mean, like I said, the Rugby Pass stats are very weird, but according to the Rugby Pass stats, Northampton made 26 dominant hits in this game, which is a lot, like really a lot. So that makes me think it's wrong. But if it's correct, then that suggests that we struggled quite badly physically. Hence the not allowing pick and goes.
Anyway, I was pulled her off the benches where I like him.
Yeah. So that brings us on to the last bench player used, which was Max. We looked good coming on, weren't out of place. You know, it wasn't like a couple of weeks ago where Johan Nicholas came on at 13, and my instant thought was, you know, he's going to continue to try. And that, again, not a shot at Johan, just a generalization of where we are. Didn't see that. He slotted him well. You know, I've always had some fears about Max at 13, given his size and his stature. You know, I think he's like 5'10", but you know, he's doing a great job. You know, and he's progressing. Okay, I think he should be a little bit further ahead, but that's, you know, because of a lack of minutes this season. But
he knows what he is as a player.
Yeah,
he's an X factor player, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
like he can create something out of it, nothing, and that's what we need.
He doesn't hide from it either. He wants the ball. You know, he is one of them players.
Exactly.
You know, give me the bloody ball. Being polite.
And he went to 13 and James moved to 12.
Yeah.
I think, looking it back. So we've had everyone satisfied. We've had Eddie James at 12 and 13 in this game. But that's part of the reason I do really like having James there, is whoever comes off the bench, is you do have that flexibility wherever they go. And yeah, we know that Max works well outside of him. And Max is kind of like that Simpsons meme when the Yakuza come over to the Simpsons house and Homer says, "Oh, look at that little guy. He's not doing anything right now, but I know he's going to do something cool." And that's how I feel every time Max comes on. His touches per minute are ridiculously high. Even when you think about a player coming off the bench, he just goes looking for the ball. He's got bundles of energy and he uses it. I like him on the bench. I like him as a 23, probably.
Yeah, agree.
So even though we're only at 22, that does round up our players for, like we said, for whatever reason, Tommy Lewis didn't come on in this game. But, you know, there's always next week. So we'll see what happens with that. So the next point on Hugh's fabulous agenda, what did we learn? I mean, I think we've gone through most of what we've learned.
Well, just quickly on the big Nige thing, I think we've learned very much that he's in charge. Like he said in the week that he said, "I am very happy with the team that I have been able to select." And he said, like, "I have asked the players to do this." And he's doing all the press conferences and stuff. It's like, okay, I think I know who's in charge.
Yeah, that I think I said in our little bonus pod, you know, that was the final nail. If he does those pressers, that's him. He is the one and only, essentially. So he seems to know what he wants, which is great. And it's something obviously we've been devoid of.
He keeps mentioning like Scarlets DNA and Scarlets style, and I think we saw more of that. I think, you know, just seeing some offloads and, you know, just trying to get on the edges, which we haven't really seen. We've been picking and going for the last 10 games, you know. So it's nice to see. I think he's just giving them freedom, going, look, just go and play. Here's a basic game plan. Play the game that you want to play. And I think it's really good.
He said in his, when I asked him about like the fans and stuff, he said that he's a passionate Scarlet. And it's interesting that when he said Eddie James is one of his better games for the Scarlets, that kind of suggests that he watches the full 80 every week. It suggests that he, like, even though he's not been working in rugby or stuff, it suggests that he does still watch every Scarlets game, even when he wasn't at the club.
I mean, it's something that's ingrained into you, whether you become a player or not. I think once you're a Scarlet, and you're a Scarlet for as long as Nige has been, you know, what was it, like 20 years as a player, something like that, you know, 10 years or so, well, longer, I think now, with him coming back, you can't not, you know, carry on with the club. It's a part of you. You know, I know we've spoken about, you know, what the club means to us, in previous podcasts. But that's what it comes down to. It's how it gets into you, and you can't get it out. It doesn't matter how much you might try. That Scarlet will always be in you.
I was just the only thing I feel like we didn't get enough sort of extended ball in hand time to have a look at the attack really and see how that's changing very much. I think we'll see more of that against Ulster. So it felt limited what we could look at, especially with the scrum taken away from us. So that'll come in time, I think.
That might have been the plan for this game anyway. Keep it short and simple. Basic game plan, the 3 pillars that obviously Josh McLeod would not divulge to who. Very disappointed with that.
I forgot one of these. I'm pretty sure one of those is like set piece, kick to compete, and I don't know what the other one is.
Defend.
Yeah. I was going to say, just listen to Costi. I think pillar number one is pillar number one is don't listen to anything anyone else tells you. Listen to Sammy. That's pillar number one.
That's pillar number one. So, is it time to stretch onto the community?
It's going to have to be a rapid community one, mate. We've been going for an hour and a quarter already.
Oh, but I got fun stuff to talk about. Okay.
Joe, just do a quick one quickly then. Brisson Thunder played. Cecilia Tuipulotu played for them. That's all I would like to say about Brisson Thunder this week.
Yes, there was a game. A team played. Cecilia started. That's as far as it goes. Screen shared. Okay, let's get diving into this community. And we're not quite starting with the SRC because we're about to come into the SRC Cup season. First games this come in Saturday. Carmarthen Quins hosting Newport. Llandovery hosting Swansea. Straight into the Premiership. Narberth 31-13 losers away to Cross Keys. Clefty Wanderers winning 27 at home to Bustard Ronda. Cracking win. Llangennech 40 points to 12 loss at Sardis Road. So in the league now, Llangennech against Cross Keys. Championship West, Ammanford winning one of the West derbies, 34-19 away to Crymych. Aberystwyth just going down 30-28 away to Dunvant. And Newcastle Emlyn picking up a tidy win, 31-14 at home to Tondee. I'm wrong. Aberystwyth Crymych, the only game this weekend in that league. One West, Wellinvoll 29-24 winners against Buddy Portland, 27-26 away to Kidwelly. Tenby going down 27-24 at Swansea Uplands. Lampeter 45-20 losers away at Wynarlythe, who had Matt Prothero in their ranks for this game. And Hendy playing out a massive 9-8 win at home against St. Clair's. This Saturday we got Buryport against Hendy, Wellinvoll going to Lampeter, Larne hosting Wynarlythe, and St. Clair's hosting Swansea Uplands. Straight down into 2 West. I'm going like mad as fast as I can. And 2 West we got Nangaredig 19-15 winners away to Aberaeron. Pringles Ponta de Lice 63-0 away to Betis. Fishguard 14-25 loss at home to Lacha. Carmarthen Athletic 15-6 at to Croyce. Whitland winning 25-16 at home to Pencloud. Fixtures this week, we've got Carmarthen Athletic at home to Betis, Whitland travelling to Lacha, Nangaredig home to Croyce, Aberaeron travelling to Pencloud, and Fishguard travelling to Ponta de Lice. Back into 2 West Central, Bryn Aman finally getting a game, but they've lost 33-18 away to Neath Athletic, and no game for them this weekend. Bloody leagues. Stupid odd numbers. So we've got Aman United 12, Milford 10, but strangely this game was abandoned in the 79th minute, and I'm really not sure why. It was in the Pembrokeshire Herald, I believe. I'm really not sure what's going on with it, but a ref has blown up in the 79th minute and abandoned the game. The result's going to stick as the 79th for Christ's sake, but still, it's weird. Neyland 11-10 winners away to Cardigan. Haverfordwest beaten Howes New Dock Stars 16-12.
That should be an inquest.
That is a gutter blow. You're going to have to sort that out. Tumble 25-24 winner away to Llandilo, and Trimsaran edging Narberth Athletic 23-22.
3 1-point games.
Tight leagues. All tight league. No, 4. No, 3. 2-point game there. Sorry, my bad. Fixtures for this week, we've got Milford Haven at home to Haverfordwest, Narberth Athletic at home to Am United, 4 West A. So we got Pembroke winning 43-14 away to Llangwm, Newcastle Emlyn Draghi 19-12 away to St David's, completing a clean sweep for Newcastle Emlyn's men's sides this week. Their youth also won. Pembroke Dock Harlequins 31-13 win away to Tyrell Crimmer, and Tenby Athletic narrowly missing out 28-31 at home to Ponteberem. Ponteberem been on fire this year, so that's a really big result for them. Llanybudder at home to Llangam, and Tyrell Crimmer travelling to Pembroke this Saturday. For West B now, Llangadog 23-5 up away to Binya when the game was abandoned in the 45th minute due to an injury. Fall Bay 34-15 winners at home to Cefnathan. Furness 24-14 winners at home to Pantavanam. Pontiac 34-27 away to Llandibby. Pennebank 34-7 winners at home against Tregaron. Fixtures this week: Cefnathan home to Furness, Pantavanam home to Binya, Pontiac at home to Pennebank, and Fall Bay travelling to Tregaron. And it is Cup week, my friends. There's not many of them. I'm going as fast as I can, but we've got some semi-finals and some quarter-finals coming your way. So we'll start with our semi-final. Llanelli Wanderers are playing Neath at Dunvan this Saturday, 2:00 kickoff. I believe these games are. Double check with them. But, if you can get down there, go support the boys. This would be a massive, massive win for Llanelli Wanderers. Not going well in the league at all, but a chance for another cup final would be amazing. Same down in the Championship. Newcastle Emlyn season, not where they would have wanted it, but if you travel to Ammanford this Saturday, they will be facing Bridgend Athletic in that semi-final, and that is a very winnable game for Newcastle Emlyn as well. So over to our quarter-final stakes now. Division 1, Tenby are travelling to Abercrave. Division 2, we have no one, all teams eliminated. Crying my eyes out. Why is there no West team involved? Division 3, Who's New Dock Stars need to pick right back up and face Llandailo. And Tumble are hosting New Panteg as well. Division 4, Tenby Athletic at home to Bonamine Athletic. Ponteberem travelling to Tonrevel, and Llangadog travelling to Treharris. Over to the women's, nice and fast to finish off. In the bowl competition, Newcastle Emlyn women lost 5-45.
So it wasn't a clean sweep for the Emlyn.
Men. I said men. That's why I stated men first. So obviously, but North Wales women's rugby is brilliant. You can't argue that. They've got so many good teams. So 45-5 win for Bala, and I believe Bury Port are our only team left in the female cup competitions now, and that is the Senior Cup. So straight on to them in the Premiership. They went 43-7 loss against Cymru Caerdydd. Championship, Haverfordwest winning 19-15 against Anderson Bull. Lampeter losing 15-34 at home to St Geneth. Whitland winning 33-29 away to West Swansea Hawks. And Pembroke winning 35-0 away to Croix. No games that I can see at all for any of these Western women's teams this weekend, which is sad because a few times that has happened. Just checking the women's. Bury Port are the only team left in the women's WRU Cup. And that is the end of the community game for this week. And back into the studio. What is left now? Because I can't remember.
Just quickly mentioning that the vlog of the trip to Northampton Saints, featuring myself, featuring Benji, featuring Hattie, is now live on the Rap YouTube channel. You can check it out. It's on the same YouTube channel that this podcast is on. And yeah, it features us. It also features Nigel Davis and Josh McLeod. And yeah, behind the scenes. It does not feature Lauren Jenkins, although she was there. Less said about that, the better, because she absolutely humbled me.
It makes it sound like she beat you in an arm wrestle when you put it like that.
Well, it's not out of the realms of possibility, is it?
I mean, you get some views if that happens.
So what happened was she was in the media room, and I plucked up the courage to chat to her, and she was like sort of half aware of like us or me or whatever. And then she looks at me and she goes, "I'm surprised I don't see you at the park more." And I was like,
Shot me in the arm.
Just punch me in the stomach, why don't you? Yes, well, fair enough. I don't really have an answer to that.
No comment.
Is what it is. Okay, so we do have a game back to URC action, and we get to welcome Ulster to the park. Ulster, who've had a pretty good season, shall we say? They've done well in the Challenge Cup.
Also playing well. They're a good team.
I think they're third
surprise of the
now.
season for me.
Yeah, surprise package of the season. They could well be going on to the Challenge Cup final. They're playing really well. They've got new assistant coaches. They've had they've had a bit better luck with injuries. Good attack. Yeah, good team.
I know
Not quite as
Munster
good
aren't
as
exactly Munster aren't at their zenith right now, but they beat them like 28-3 on New Year's Day or the day after New Year's Day or whenever the Irish clubs have their derbies.
Yeah. That's a nice win. Fair play.
But to flip it around, any selection changes from the Northampton game or same team again?
Same team.
Ball, obviously, for Lousy.
Mm.
I mean,
no one else.
I'm tempted to maybe put Blay on the bench.
Get Tommy on.
Tommy Rog if he's fit.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Jack.
No,
Tommy Ellis Jack rather.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Any Tommy will do.
Any Tommy will do. Yeah. Centers. I'm kind of happy with Hawkins.
Yeah, I'll leave the whole rest of the team the same. I'm not minded making any changes.
Yeah, I mean, bench is probably the only place where we start looking. I mean, do we think about pulling Jack Price in for Dan Davis to have that lock cover?
Once bitten, twice shy.
He's injured, isn't he? Jack Davis? Oh, sorry. No. Sorry.
Jack Price.
I'm confused. Jack Price.
Didn't think so.
No, I think he's on the injury list. Pretty sure.
John normally has all the injury list.
Time to check the excuses.
Time to check the excuses.
Did you check the try scoring at Ardie Farms Park, by the way?
God, no. I can
tune in next week
if you want. Tune in next week when I'm asked to do some work for this pod. Tom Rogers, Joe Roberts, Jack Price, Archer Holtz, Johnny Williams, Yohan Jones, Isaac Young. I think Holtz is potentially meant to be almost ready to come back, but I don't see a reason to put him on in this game, really.
Yeah, I think they did say end of the month, whether that's this weekend or Benetton on the very last day. That's there. I'm happy with the way Hawks playing coming back anyway. So, yeah.
What about the notorious CLJ?
Depends how costly he is. I think obviously he's there as a travelling not exactly a travelling reserve, but he's there as a reserve. I mean, I do think you kind of got to put him in because obviously we'll expect the news tomorrow. If you're listening to this now, will be today of the Welsh squad, and Costello's going to be in it because just the way the media have gone around it. I can't see any reason why Sammy's not in that squad on his own right anyway. So Hawkins is going to be in there because he's favoured. So that means we are going to be literally down to Carwyn and Pricey Ellis Price.
Connacht game.
Not just for the Connacht game, for Benetton, for Connacht, for Edinburgh. That's 3 big games. So I do think we have to bring Kaz in for this one and just give him some minutes, like decent minutes. Unless it's literally a nip-tuck game going into the 65th, 70th. He's got to have at least 10 minutes on the field. He's got to get his hands on the ball. Those 11 seconds or whatever it was last time he came on were. Obviously it's great. It's a great privilege and an honor to be a Scarlet, especially as young as he is. But 11 seconds is doing you no good.
No, he needs to come on at 65, 70 minutes, ideally with Max Page. Eddie James move into 12, I think.
Oh shit!
Oh wait, no, that's
doesn't go in.
Huh?
We're gonna if Joe Roberts and Johnny Williams are still injured, we got no centers next week. We'll be Gabe McDonald and Max Page.
They don't actually go in though, do they? Like they're released.
No, not for Benetton. They'll be in camp.
You're talking in 2 weeks' time, yeah.
It'll be Max and
It'd be
Gabe.
Unless Johnny, is fit again, which. Should I just realize that we could have literally a 10, 12, 13 with less than 20 games combined between them.
I'm not sure that Joe Roberts is going to get picked.
No, I'm thinking injured because he's currently on the list.
No.
Same with Johnny Williams. So that obviously that's a worry for next week to deal with. Actually, isn't it?
We'll cover that next week.
But bench then Archie, Carmen Leggett Jones. You said Murray on the bench, but to be honest, I'm thinking Max on the bench, really.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Cowdo's bench, Archie's our starter, remember that? Come on.
Sorry, yeah. But force of habit. What can I say?
Force of habit. Yeah, maybe a week off with Dublé. I mean, in some strange world where he's not selected by Wales, maybe the week off will help him get him fully fit for Benetton on these important games. And obviously, we got Zebra straight after the Six Nations, so we don't know what state the boys are going to be in for that. So it's a tricky one this time of year. It always is. Predictions, boys? Oh, no, something else?
I was just going to say, do you think Blair gets picked for Wales for the squad?
I mean, personally, I don't believe in dropping players who have just been in your start in 23. I'd still have him in the squad. Probably wouldn't put him in the 23 at the minute.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't completely drop him. That's not something I would do personally. But
I think
obviously,
he'll be in the
I've seen
squad.
coaches
See,
do shit like that.
I work off the theory that the reason he's even in the starting 23 in the first place is because he offers you decision making and service at 15, which the type of decision making that you don't get from a lot of 15s in the game, or at least not in Wales. And I think that's why they're persisting with him so much. So unless they've changed the attack strategy,
I'm thinking because Bristol have kind of forced Lewis Zammit into that 15 shirt, and he is not playing overly well. He's played like 4 or 5 games now at 15, and he's not going great. I don't know if there's a conversation been had, but if they've made a request and they're accommodating. I know he's played a handful of games there in the past, but he like, for me personally, I think he's ahead of schedule on his return from the NFL. Like, I wouldn't expect him back to pre-NFL levels, until the summer at the earliest. But that 15 shirt is so awkward. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ellis Mee put in it.
Yeah, potentially. Again, I think it depends on the style of 15 they want in the game. I think that's why they persevered with him so long. So, yeah.
So, predictions for Ulster. No one is allowed to pick Scarlets by 2.
Or 3 or 4.
I know, 3 or 4,
1.
I don't mind. I don't mind them. It's just the Scarlets by 2 that's annoyed the shit out of me. That's all. So, being as though you've chirped up, Benji boy, give us a Pringle score.
Scarlets by 7.
Ooh, it's a nice, comfortable win. And who next? Go on, John. Let's limit who can pick.
Man, Ulster have been good. Like really good. But at the park, I'll take the boys by 9.
Ah, you bastard!
You're leaving very few options.
I want you to take something away from bloody who, not me. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Scarlets by 2.
Incorrect. Please try again.
Computer says no.
Okay, I'll have to go. I'm not going to go in the middle of you because I don't fancy a sandwich from you two, but I'll go for Scarlets 10. Just because, we want to bring CLJ on for a few minutes, so having a 2-score buffer, that's something. You come on for that. And only one last bit of kind of breaking news as such. I mean, it's not exactly breaking news. Anyone who's known anything is kind of known. I know I just sit there quite ominously. But Y11 are buying Cardiff. It has been confirmed by the WRU.
Is that their preferred bidder?
Yes.
They are going to talk with them as a preferred bidder is what they've said, which, yeah.
Exclusivity. Which, it doesn't mean the sale's done, but for me...
It's on the way, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they've all the power is just swung in Y11's favour. They've fobbed off Martin Ryan's group. Whether or not they'd be willing to come back to the table, that's a question. So you've got Y11 now. Well, you need us to buy Cardiff to shut down the Ospreys.
Cardiff fans are going to protest.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
CF10 are all up against it. So
yeah.
I mean,
when's Cardiff's next home game? Cardiff got a home game coming up.
They've got over the next fortnight, haven't they?
Cardiff.
URC.
It did escalate quite quickly. They were like, "Oh, we'll release it in 2 weeks."
And then this weekend, Benetton.
There'll be protests.
In the park, yeah.
There'll be protests. Yeah. It will, I'll hold that back. But it's when the initial statement came out that it was a unanimous decision. You're like, okay, writing's on the wall here. because I don't think it would have been the other group by a unanimous decision, and then it's come out what it is. But the people on Twitter have been talking about it for
weeks,
4 days.
And they've been saying every single permutation under the sun as well. It's
I mean, it's not over yet. I think we do still have to say that, because I'm still of them. I still want to keep it 4. Like, there is a scenario I can accept 3, but there needs to be a proper plan in place to expand pro rugby.
Seeing the fans at the Scarlets game and like the community and stuff, and like all the images that Benji's been sharing with us of the hotel and stuff, it just spoils your bloods. The WRU are just like, yeah, we'll just get rid of it. It's fine. Like, it's not fine.
No,
it's vandalism.
It's violence.
It's not even just taking professional rugby away. You're taking away jobs from the country. You literally, you're not just shitting on Welsh rugby, shitting on Swansea.
it's taking people's
You're shitting on
livelihoods.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's what, like 70 plus people employed by the Ospreys, not to mention all the what do you call them? All the hub officers and things in and around their region. Is shocking.
I've noticed in the last couple of weeks they've taken any sort of Ospreys logos or anything away from St Helens. They did have posters up there about games and things like that.
You're not
Nothing.
Just make it clear, you're not spying on St Helens. You go past it regularly.
Yeah, I work around that area, so I do go past there quite a lot, and it's very sad because I think we were all looking forward to derby games down St Helens. But obviously we won't be able to see that going ahead now if this is the plan
Tbilisi on Boxing Day for us, boys.
It won't be on Boxing Day unless it's a Saturday. That game will move to a traditional weekend spot. There's no point playing that on Boxing Day.
No,
that's brutal. Who wants that?
Not
12,000 in the park last Boxing Day.
Yeah. Not to mention this, like the redevelopment that was going to go ahead. Like that would have been so much cash going into the local community there as well. Like it is jobs, it is money, it is lots of shit, and it's just, it's fucking shite.
Look, like I said, it's not over yet. Unless they somehow get this deal agreed within the next, 10 days. We've still got an EGM to try and force some change. I know it's going to take people to go around the country, to go around all these clubs, beg for our livelihoods.
Collier Car Park might be gone. No confidence. I do think that the likes of CF10 and stuff will make it really, really, really unpleasant for the whole process. And I do think that can have an impact. And
I think it can have an impact, but it's also going to stress themselves. Because like I see it with Crease, if you cause, negativity with the club, which they deem unnecessary, then they will just shut off any contact they have. There's one point being a representative for fans for your club and having a link with your club to be able to share things and and work with each other. But when you cut off the club from that, it makes things very, very difficult. They've got a fine line they need to draw. They have to protest. They do have to do it, but they've got to do it in the right manner and an appropriate manner. And I know it'd be the same if it was the Scarlets. Blood boils, tempers go, things happen. They just need to be careful how they go about it, because you wouldn't want to lose that connection for the club and the fans.
Yeah. It's not over, but
shit.
You got to feel for their fan base. I mean, that's where I go to. I got a lot of friends who are Ospreys fans, and the stress of. I mean, we've all been stressed, worried about cutting teams and that, but they've been rumored for quite a while. That's got to be on your mind a lot.
Why 11 have been trying to do this for years?
They were doing it with, was it Ealing? They've tried to buy Cardiff before a couple of years ago. They were no part of the Ospreys, and I feel bad for them. I really do.
I'm surprised it's been allowed to get to this stage, to be honest. That's a story for another day.
if they're quite happy to throw Ospreys under the bus, who says they can't do that to Cardiff in the future?
No, it won't happen to Cardiff.
Oh yeah, but you wouldn't trust the investment company that's already sold out your neighbours.
What's happened to the Ospreys under Y11 ownership?
Yeah.
Their attendances have literally halved.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing out of a semi-pro ground that's, it's by far the least. I'm not talking about the history of the ground and stuff, but it's the least professional setup in the whole URC. I'm talking even compared to like Zebra. Like it's below that in terms of facilities.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about the history of the place and stuff and the heritage and stuff, just purely bricks and mortar. Like I said, the attendance is halved. They've gone from being a team that was regularly competing for the playoffs to a team that's finished near the bottom of the league more often than not, despite, woefully underperformed some of the playing resources they've had at times. Not always, but at times. And just the lies, the constant lies that they've been fed. This whole St. Helens thing has been a scandal. It's a scandal.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen all the things on Twitter, all these, where we'll release some plans for St. Helens, giving them a little bit of hope. And then on the other hand, behind closed doors, they're trying to sell it off. It's
the thing with their season tickets this season.
Yeah. They were told that St. Helens would be this year. No, it's not this year. It's next year. And they're moving it to Bridgend, which, a lot of the fans are in Swansea area. So it's not making it easy for them, is it?
And if anyone criticises them, they get blacklisted, blocked. You're gone.
Yes, I mean, Lance Bradley's been blocking everyone.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've got to put ourselves, if it was our club, if this was happening to us now, we would be so upset and annoyed, and just
My kids will be out without a father for a few days at least.
I'd be devastated. I'd be absolutely devastated, and my heart goes out to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'd grab a tent and just go camp outside. Honestly, you've got to do something like this. And this is two clubs. It's effective, which makes it worse.
But imagine the concept. Like some people, I've heard some people say, "Oh, the two clubs merging, it's better than the club just going. They'll still play some games in."
Oh,
Swansea.
will they merge?
Even if they merge, they're playing in Cardiff, aren't they? They're not playing anywhere else.
Firstly, if they play more than if they play meaningful games in Swansea, I'll be surprised. Secondly, what kind of nonsense entity is it that splits its games between is it both a Cardiff and a Swansea team? Like what? Someone
whoever said that has a fundamental misunderstanding of how sport and fandom works. Yeah. If they think you'll go over it's insane, and it's probably the craziest take that the WIU have had during the entire process is this idea that they're not just going to lose a fan base by doing it. It's laughable.
At the least, I mean, I don't think this will be a merger. I think this will be a stripping of any assets, and I do think the licenses, the three licenses
clubs have got assets.
No, I whatever they've
got players. That's it.
Well, I mean, in terms of the feeder system now, the clubs and etc. I don't think I think it's a case of the three licenses. Sorry, that were put up. The West, which was literally that Cardiff border, Bridgend, and West. I think that's just going to be given to us. I don't think it's going to be a merger. I think it's an acquisition, and they're just going to let it all go.
And this thing about Swansea and the Ospreys don't play in Swansea. So this thing about they're the Swansea team and stuff. They're not. They don't play in Swansea. They play in Bridgend. It's 25 miles down the road, and even if it all does fall apart and the Ospreys do survive and we stick with 4, if work on St. Helens hasn't started, Ospreys aren't playing in Swansea for 2 years.
Nothing has happened there.
No,
it's taken Connacht 18 months to renovate one grandstand. Leinster are in their second season of playing in the Aviva because the RDS is being renovated. You think they're going to finish St. Helens? You think they're going to finish St. Helens by September?
No.
They're not going to be playing. Even if it all falls apart, they ain't playing in St. Helens for 2 years.
No.
I mean, I know there's tension is there, but I don't understand why they didn't look at the null or to at least split games.
It's because the Neath thing got that again. Coming back to the ownership, the Neath relationship completely broke down, and yet Neath aren't innocent in that. Like, we remember all the stuff on social media.
Yeah,
not for girls stuff, shit from however long ago it was, but
not that long, sadly.
But that all fell apart as well.
I mean, Swansea, as in the Whites, they're still a team. They still St Helens is still their home.
No, they're not playing St Helens though.
Not at the moment.
They're playing at Dunvant. And so this is their ground. So something should have been happening.
Can Swansea and the Swansea? We're going massively off subject here, but can Swansea and the cricket club sue whoever over this?
I would imagine there's got to be something in there because the cricket club. I mean, that I'll be honest, that was the main thing that I'm all for redevelopment of St Helens, but not at the expense of the cricket club. I mean, there's more history with them than anything. That is the home of Welsh cricket essentially. So there's going to be legal battles somewhere. I don't think it's not going to come direct from the Ospreys. Obviously, it's going to come from surrounding. Maybe they've got an old director who can try and do something, or even a current one.
I'm interested to see what Lance Bradley does next. Is he just going to post more pictures of pints on Twitter? Is that all he's going to do about it?
And pretend for a long time that nothing was happening.
Or he's going to disappear for like a fortnight and then re-emerge in the same job at Cardiff.
Well, Cardiff haven't actually got a board at the moment, do they? I think they've got nominal people, which is the legal requirement of what they've got to have. I think they've got 2 nominal people or something. I read along those lines.
It's 2 nominal people, yeah, that they have on the board.
Well, that's a positive for Cardiff. I mean, look how good they've kind of been this season. I know it's probably a mirror of last year. Yay, first half of the season, brilliant. Second half, but to still go and put on performances like they do, it's great for them. So having a board again, having an actual structure behind, off field will hopefully do them wonders. Obviously, they'll never be as good as the Scarlets, but that's not the point we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. Is if this becomes a super club, because remember the WRU still want to take over all rugby operations, which is a whole nother topic. I mean, like this is not the beginning of the end. This is the end of the beginning, and the whole thing about taking over the rugby operations, and which we'll never get through. But
no, there's no chance of that.
The reason that the Scarlets and ironically the Ospreys did not sign up to the PRA 25 is because they were worried that they were going to turn this into a super club. And if it's the Swansea and Cardiff team and the WRU are fully in charge of all the resources.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even just a professional level. They're trying to take it. Like they announced they were taking over, the head coach position of every single SRC club, but without actually speaking with any SRC club. I mean, we can all agree some changes need to be made, but Jesus Christ, how can you be that deluded to put something out without actually speaking to the clubs that you're trying to change? I mean, honestly,
we go back to a year ago. We were being told we had money for 4, so
increased funding for all 4,
and we can end Warren Gatlin's contract early because money is no object.
Yeah,
and we can go out and get whoever we want.
And all of a sudden. Yeah, actually, no, 3 will do, but it was 2.
It's not just about an EGM to change the management at the top. Someone has to ultimately open the books and make some of this stuff public, because how can there be so many discrepancies from one year to the next?
They've hired business people, as in CEOs of other companies, have come in with no relation to any sort of club or, being a Welsh fan. And they are making decisions on, actually, if we cut that, that'll give more money to that. But no, it doesn't work like that. As in,
they've thought that it's just Team Wales, and they've made it blatantly clear. Like, if it was ever not true anyway, but it's like you got regional fans, you got Wales fans. We only care about Wales fans. We'll happily get rid of the the regional fans. They're not interesting to us, but they've missed that, in business and in like customers, not all customers are equal. You've got like worse customers and better customers, and the regional fans are the best customers because they're the ones who spend the most money on rugby. And to just go like, we don't care about you is such a massive mistake. And now we're seeing what's going on with the Six Nations ticket sales and stuff. But even like this whole like gone to 3, like they don't want 3. Reading wanted 2. No, they don't want 3. This wasn't the plan.
No, it's I'm really intrigued to see what comes out of the the government select committee on, I think it's Wednesday.
I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited.
And we've got a Wales squad tomorrow with all this.
Yeah, so I do have to say, if you do happen to have a day off on Wednesday and can get yourself to Westminster, you can go in and be there for it all.
Is it not in the Senate?
No, Westminster.
No, it's Westminster.
Oh, that's boring.
We've got, I think, Anne Davis and Ben Lake are obviously the 2 MPs that are leading from our side. Or at least that's who I've been made aware of is pushing things. So no, that's going to be a trick. But that's going to be more WRU operational. Are they even compliant with a lot of statutes and things they need to be? Obviously, how you done that podcast with, I keep forgetting her name, about rugby governance, and there's so many things in there that you just need to just click up on and you can easily check. So it's going to be like, I don't know if anything can come from it, which is a sad thing, but
no, but I think you have to temper your expectations for what's going to come out of that committee. We're not, like, when it comes to sort of like government evidence like that, isn't it? We're not going to get, I doubt we're going to get many interesting answers. What's going to be interesting are the answers we don't get, if that makes sense. What are the things that they're not prepared to say in public deposition by the government? Like that's the point, really, I think.
And I think there's going to be a lot of caveats given in terms of what the WRU are compliant and not compliant with. I think they're going to be given, like, I'm using this from Who's podcast, so please go give it a listen on HG Rugby. I think there's going to be a few things that they're not compliant to, and they're given, X amount of months. You've got to go and fix this, and get it done. You're not going to be, chucked out yet, but you need to go get it sorted. My only hope is there's enough negative or enough enlightenment coming out of this that will convince enough clubs with voting, with a vote, to actually stand up and do something at the EGM.
This is the thing, isn't it, boys? We're nowhere near things being resolved.
No.
Because, they still got to provide 4 teams to the URC, so they can't they can't shut down the Ospreys on Monday morning. Like, they got to keep going.
There's probably another season of this, probably.
Yeah, at least. I mean, if they can somehow shut down the Ospreys at the end of the season and they can't get another team in, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go for RGC. I really wouldn't. I know they've talked about
they wanted to do that forever.
Exactly.
Wouldn't it be very WRU to go, we'll just get RGC in the meantime, and then after a couple of years to go, we'll just keep them, actually. We'll stick with 4. Cheers.
Yeah. That's
been their plan.
Damn, man. Fuck
going
them.
way back.
Okay. I think we're approaching 2 hours now, so apologies to everybody. This last bit did kind of drag on longer than we had initially anticipated, obviously with the news breaking, the last couple of hours. So if you have made it this far, please like, share, subscribe, comment, give us your thoughts, and just try and be positive. Boys, great speaking with you. Benji, 2 weeks in a row. I'm loving it. 3 weeks. I don't know my arm can take it. So please,
I'll try my best.
Please don't leave us again. Thank you all, boys, for joining me, and we'll do it all again, celebrating a Scarlets win against Ulster. Yes, there is still rugby to play next week.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.